Donald. They moved it all together. Ooh, can you imagine trying out, like, Heidi, right after his Audra? Like, it's so nerve-wracking.
No, we were actually very good friends, and we were in the same carpool, and, like, you know, we were very, very good friends growing up. We went to the same school, and she even, like, I think went steady with my brother for a hot second.
Or
my sister-in-law.
how do you steady for a hot second?
That's what the kids say. Let's move on.
Okay, now the scandalous story is that both Heidi, Audra, and Audra's sister tried out for the local Annie production, and it was like this really big deal in Fresno. So Audra's sister got the role of Duffy, Heidi got the role of Annie, and Audra wasn't cast. That's hilarious. I hope that's bad. Thank you. So first of all, did you portray us and you're like, I am Annie? Everybody was my dream. Was it your dream?
Oh my God, are you crazy? Of course, it was absolutely my dream. I was obsessed with the Red Album set and memorized every nuance of Andrew Ricardo's performance and was absolutely positive I could do that too, and turns out I was right.
Okay, and the horrible part of the story is that Audra told everybody that the reason she didn't get it is because the director was like, Audra, you were so good at your audition, you're going to outshadow everybody with your brilliance. I can't put you in the show. So even though Heidi got the role, she has a little trouble about herself for 20 years, we'll cut you like the front of Audra, and Audra's like, I made that up, it was a lie. The director was like, Audra, your audition was subpar. And she literally was like, I was so amazing. Like, I get this. That's what she said. I just put it out there. The talent show's going to Broadway. I'm too great to be in the show. You just make a lie, it works. Where was I? Okay, so Heidi, talk about your Broadway debut. Go.
Oh, my Broadway debut was an amazing night. It was in the Full Monty.
Anybody?
The sort of quick story is that I had come from the tour, which was shut down because of September 11th, and my track, which was an ensemble track, I played Susan Hershey, and I understudied Vicki Nichols' part, which I was being played by Emily Skinner. And they called me and they said, the girl who plays Susan Hershey normally is leaving the show, do you want to come in? I was like, twist my arm. So I was going to make my Broadway debut in like 2 weeks. So a couple days later, my stage manager called me and she said, and I thought she was calling to give me my schedule for the next, in a couple of weeks when I was going to be coming in. And instead she said, how do you feel like about saving a Broadway show tonight? And I was like, saving a Broadway show? What? And apparently, there aren't that many women in the Full Monty, and let's say there are like 7 of them, and on that particular night, 4 of them called out. And if I didn't do the show that night, they would have had to cancel the show. But on top of that, just the way that things sort of mixed and matched, that night the only way they were going to be able to do the show is if I played Emily's part. Emily had called out. And I had only played that part a couple of times on the road. We didn't have any rehearsals on the road. I ended up doing it for Andrea Burns, who played that part on the road. She was fantastic. She's in the lights now. And so when I got to the Broadway show, I had no rehearsal.
What time did they play?
They called me probably at about 5:30. The show was at 8, and I got thrown on in that principal role. And I literally was meeting my husband, Marcus Neville, on stage as I was kissing him. It was totally bizarre, and my Broadway debut was being thrown on for Emily Skinner in the Full Monty. So here it is.
Hey, that's amazing. What was the, that's what the smattering of fun. What was it, did you get buzzed by the stage manager of your performance?
Yeah, because on the road we played much bigger houses. For those of you that don't know, sometimes when you're on tour, you play houses that are like, 3,000 people or whatever. And
your reaction was like, whoa!
Yeah, so our show was a little broader. The brushstrokes were a bit larger, not so fine. And when I got to the Broadway show, Nancy Harrington, who was our amazing production stage manager, let me have 3 shows for nothing. Because that's her rule. You get to do whatever you want for 3 shows. And then after that, she came to me and she was like, Livingston, you gotta take it down. You're a little cartoony. I'm like, what? That's how we did it on the road.
We're going on the Full Monty!
Yeah.
Too big, sister, too big. Oh, yeah, we went to the actual song, Go To... I'm not wearing my glasses, son of a... Okay, we were on the song, right? Am I correct by something? Sorry. Okay, this is really writing in font 8. Anyway, the point is we're going to cut to a song that we're going to hear here. And it's a song that I think is in the show, Stop Playing Me, right? Describe it 1 second.
Yeah, I Am Playing Me. It's a song in the show that Jeff writes for my character, and it's a funny little self-reflective song about me being stuck in a show playing me. It's awesome.
That's why it's called Playing Me. All right, let's hear the song. Hit it. here, we're still discussing how to do this. I want to discuss one more devastating thing that happened. It was devastating. I was watching Tyler's show a couple weeks ago, one of my many forays to Broadway theater, and as Jeff exited the stage, he literally collapsed. It was devastating. Go.
After secondary characters, I run off the stage. They're like, we run out to meet famous people, and as I was on my way back, I turned back to say, wish us luck. And right as I turned back, I rolled my ankle and collapsed. If I didn't fall, I would have broken my ankle. And I fell, but I hit the ground so hard that I blacked out for probably not, like a whole 7 seconds or something. But I was just out, kind of cold for a moment.
Immobile. And he hadn't done all the way up the stage. So we just saw 2 pairs of legs sticking out, not moving. It was devastating. Keep going.
There's a little wicked to the east there.
It was a little
And then I kind of came to and I dragged myself off slowly.
And we saw immobile legs and then slow drag. It was...
No, but the thing you're not saying is that a type of show, we play ourselves, we truly are best friends, we love each other very much, and when that happened to Jeff, Hunter was in the doorway looking at Jeff, Susan and I were left on stage, and my first concern was, is my friend dead? I wasn't sure how Jeff was, and I was like, we have to stop the show, because I think Jeff's really hurt, and then Hunter said, we'll be right back, and Jeff somehow dragged his lifeless body off stage, and Susan and I were left to pick up the emotional pieces.
So backstage, they called the standby Benjamin House down, and he's running downstairs. He was taking a nap in the dressing room, and he's throwing on his Jeff costume, and I can see the song kind of going in the dark and all right. And I ended up getting up into a chair, and the song, Secondary Characters, is going on stage, and just so you know, that song doesn't have an ending. There's no ending to that song. It gets interrupted by us re-entering. So it's not like it would just be able to end. Like, she would have to riff and ad-lib and item until someone came back on the stage. And I ended up standing, I was like, oh, I guess I can still stand. And I had so much adrenaline pumping through me. And I ended up coming back on stage.
Everyone listened to the show. Before Heidi and Susan had this hilarious comment about thinking their friend was dead. It was like an awful conversation.
It was one of those, like, the show must go on moments, because we were truly worried about Jeff, and we didn't know what was coming next, and the show must go on, people.
What did happen? Were you in cast or anything?
I had great. I spent the whole night in the hospital with the x-rays and everything. It was just a show. I didn't miss the show. I would have missed that extra month. But doesn't that suck when that happens on the day before your day off? You're like, if I wanted the understudy to get a chance, but I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to do it. And I went back on. I was fine. We had to alter some choreography for the next couple of shows.
Your body is
Actually, the show is still altered a little bit. We won't tell you where, but there's still moments that we haven't been able to restore entirely because of my ankle.
You can see Jeff's body in full action in Out Magazine as a full photo pose, like shirt off, crazy looking. Okay, guys, right after this segment, we're going to do a full question and answer for the audience, but I would like having Nick's staff stand stage to sing her big signature 11 o'clock number, Larry Pressfield, if you will. This is the song we directed with Annie and told us yesterday. It's simply about growing up, loving theater, becoming an adult, getting completely jaded, and then finding that love yet again. Jennifer is hilarious. I love it. Oh, we won. That's a lie. We're not doing a song. Yeah. Should we not do a song? Why don't you just, okay, you know what you can do? Hold on. I'm going to re-record. I'm going to do that at the end of the show. So, and cut. So let me cut the segment and make a question answer the song. So let's re-record. That's an amazing story, Jeff. Okay, right after that, we're going to do a question and answer for the audience. But right now, let's cut to a commercial for those Sirius videos. Commercial free, awkward. And then right after that, question and answer, and then that was something from Heidi.